So what's the problem here today?
We're just having a press conference on government property, government property that our taxes pay for.
If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 Since Mike didn't get it, shut it down. Since Mike didn't get it, shut it down.
Fight back!
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 Fight back! Fight back! Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
The people
United will never be defeated!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
hey, hold the people
United
will never be defeated. The people
United will never be defeated.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Coca-Cola has got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Coca-Cola has got to go! Remove Coca-Cola! Remove Coca-Cola!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now!
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Fight back! Fight back! Fight back!
We stand up for those who have been shot down.
Stand
We will continue to. It's been 171 days and there has still been no justice.
No peace.
So if it takes 171 days to be in these streets before we have to get the judge's attention, we'll be here. Rain, shine, sleet, or snow.
How many more are going to be killed to assert their authority? They want to go hotspot police our neighborhoods. Why don't they go hotspot police their neighborhoods? They do drugs just as much as anybody else. Hotspot police your own neighborhoods. How come you got to go hotspot police the city? That was announced today and went into effect today. Nothing has changed. We've been out here for 171 days and they have not done nothing. Nothing. They're not even wearing their cameras that the president has told them to wear. That's treason. Who do you protect?
Who do you serve?
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 Coca-Cola is not above the law.
Coca-Cola is not above the law.
Police officers are not above the law.
Police officers are not above the law.
Coca-Cola is not above the law.
Coca-Cola is not above the law.
Film from back here. You don't
So this is what they do. This is what they do. They harass people. They identify me as some kind of leader of this movement, and they harass me. This is what they do. But this does not excuse you. This does not. I'm not spitting on you. Get your hand on my face. This does not excuse what you do. This does not excuse what you do. No, I'm not calm because you're harassing me. You're harassing me.
He's calm.
You are harassing me. You're harassing me. You're harassing me. And none of this will change the fact that we're going to be out in these streets. We're going to continue to disrupt. We're going to continue to agitate.
Why are you arresting him?
We can't give you that info.
What did he do? What did he do? What did he do?
You know, they got to set an example. They got to steal the police.
Why does he need to be in a car? Oh, this is bullshit! Are you Clayton police?
Yeah, that's not even a police.
She's undercover over there, I know that much.
Why are they being there?
All right, we don't get it. Shut it down. You guys caught one today, huh? They catch one every fucking time.
Why did they trap Derek?
No, he's in the other. He's going on. You guys show us upper hand, right?
1942.
You guys out here, right?
1942. Show myself in 1944, 1081, one time to the station.
People that look like you.
Reference protest, ma'am.
What was he arrested for?
Good afternoon. I'm Attorney Jerryl Christmas.
Guys, close on in.
I'm here on behalf of the petitioners. We filed this lawsuit here in St. Louis County Circuit Court asking Judge Wallace to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate the actions that took place in the grand jury hearings with the St. Louis County Prosecutors Office. We feel that the prosecutor, Bob McCullough, has not lived up to his duties in his office in prosecuting this case, and we'd like Judge Wallace to sign an order appointing a special prosecutor to investigate the grand jury proceedings. We have 5 plaintiffs on this lawsuit, and 3 of which are present. If you want to identify yourself.
Montega Simmons, I'm the Executive Director of the Organization for Blood Struggle.
My name is Sarah Thompson.
My name is Ruben Riggs. I'm a student at Washington University and a student organizer in St. Louis Students in Solidarity.
It's our contention that we have not received due process in this case, that the prosecutor has acted arbitrarily in calling witnesses who are not credible before the grand jury, in the way that the witnesses were questioned in the grand jury. The entire process, we don't believe, was a credible process, and we don't believe that he upheld his duty as prosecutor. So we're asking that Judge Wallace appoint a special prosecutor to investigate this. Once the special prosecutor is appointed to investigate this, then they can make a decision on whether or not Bob McCullough fulfilled his duties. And if he did not fulfill his duties, the special prosecutor can move to have him removed from office. And so that's the point that we stand on. That's what we're asking Judge Wallace to do. The petition is sitting on her desk now, and so we are waiting on a response from her. Do we have any questions? We filed it last week. And what she's done is she's issued that the petition be served on Bob McCullough, and that he have 30 days to respond.
By law, technically he can't be removed without a petition to recall, right?
Well, by law, if the special prosecutor feels that, if she appoints the special prosecutor and the special prosecutor feels that he has not upheld his duty, then he can file to have him removed from office. A recall is also a way that he can be removed also.
So what circumstances will they look into to determine whether or not Bob McCullough should be removed?
The special prosecutor will investigate the entire grand jury proceedings, which is what we'd like to see happen. Look at why certain witnesses were called, the way he went about doing it, the fact that he acted arbitrarily in the way that he went about the entire process. And so that's our major concern. We don't feel that justice was served or that we received adequate due process the way that this case was presented to the grand jury, the way that the witnesses were questioned, the way that the unconstitutional instructions were presented. All of those aspects we want looked at.
So will witness 40 play a role in trying to determine whether or not he gave witnesses who were known to be liars opportunity to testify?
I think most certainly witness 40 will play a major role in that, because I think as a prosecutor, I'm a former prosecutor, you have a duty to make sure that witnesses you bring before the grand jury are truthful and accurate witnesses.
So, Attorney Christmas, when you said recall, can the citizens have a petition to recall the prosecutor?
The citizens can have a petition to recall the prosecutor, and I believe that the citizens are in process of putting that together now.
Will you, what's the John Doe grand juror in this case? The one that's filed?
That would be up to the special prosecutor to talk to that. The point that we're at right now is that we want the judge to appoint the special prosecutor to investigate it. That's what we're asking right now.
Do you have a hearing date set, or?
No, there's no hearing date set as of yet.
What do you expect Bob McCullough will do? What will be his response? What do you anticipate?
I don't know what his response is going to be. All I know is what our response is. And our response is that we want a special prosecutor appointed to investigate it, because we feel that we have not received due process. And we're entitled to due process. And What we're asking for is not a high burden. It's a very low burden. All we're asking is that a special prosecutor be appointed to investigate the circumstances that occurred in the grand jury. And under the Missouri Revised Statute, we have the ability to do that. Actually, the judge can sign the order now.
So what's the ramifications of the fact that the prosecutor found out that Michael Brown was 154 feet away, as opposed to what St. Louis County said he was 35 feet away? What's the ramification of them shrinking the crime scene like that?
I think those are issues that we want a special prosecutor to look at, especially about how this case was presented and whether or not the prosecutor was fulfilling his duty and actually moving forward towards the prosecution, or was this just a charade?
Do you have any federal recourse in this at all?
No, this is a state statute.
Yeah, right.
State statute.
Is there any federal statutes or federal laws that apply as far as investigating prosecutors?
At this time, I'm not aware of any federal statutes. We firmly believe that we can attain due process at the state level. We think that if we had had a special prosecutor to begin with, we would have gotten due process in this case. I think this is why early on in August, when the people were protesting, they were asking for a special prosecutor because they were afraid something like this would happen. And now it has come to bear. And not only in St. Louis and in Missouri, but people have talked about it nationwide, the way this grand jury was conducted. We even heard Justice Scalia from the Supreme Court comment about these grand jury proceedings. So, you know, it's come from the highest court in the land, from all across the country and all across the state. So I don't think it's a lot to ask now that a special prosecutor be appointed to investigate.
So we know Darren Wilson got at least $500,000 for his interview with ABC. It's a little off topic. Can you talk about the reasonableness of a wrongful death suit?
Well, that's not my area of expertise. I think you have to talk to the attorneys that are representing the family on that in order to get into what the aspects are of wrongful death law. Anything you want to say?
I think you covered, honestly, from day one, the issue was justice. And Bob McCullough, by every action he's taken, has subverted the process. He subverted Mike Brown from having his day in court, or any type of justice. He subverted due process. That's all we wanted.
We must love and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Thank you so much for coming out here today, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. We would continue to shut it down, but they got some jump out boy stuff happening. I don't know what that's about. So we're just gonna go home. Be safe. Everybody let somebody know when you make it home. Everybody let somebody know when you make it home.